morning, I'm Jeff Key.
Yep, is that?
That's me. Get closer. How's that? I'm Jeff Key. I was an activated reservist. I deployed with 4th Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion out of Camp Pendleton in 2003. First, before I forget, I want to say thanks to the people that fought to have this panel, because it was up to the wire. Like, people really had to go to the mat to make it happen. And I mean, that's and you can tell by the the cast of thousands up here, the chairs are falling off the end of the stage, that we're really packing about 10 panels into this. I'm really nervous. I'm not nervous, the bad guy's going to shoot me, as much as I want to say something that makes a difference, and I got 7 minutes to do it, and I'm raised in Alabama. It takes me 7 minutes to tell you where I'm from, so I'm going to do my best to talk fast. Stay with me. So I joined a little late in life. I was 34 years old when I walked in that recruiting station, and I did so for the same reasons that I'm sitting here today. I love America. I know these are dark times, but I believe since I became an activist, I've been in more than half the 50 states, and I have great hope for the future. I turned on C-SPAN this morning when I was getting ready, and somebody was quoting Winston Churchill, and I know I won't do it exactly right, but essentially he said, you can always count on America to do the right thing after they exhaust all other possibilities. So I think we've been exhausting some possibilities, and hopefully we're walking towards the light. I'm an out queer man. I knew under Clinton's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy that things would not be easy, but I wanted to serve bad enough that I did that I went along with that policy, and I thought I was just kind of not mention it along the way. I was naive. Once you're in a fighting hole with someone who's sharing the deep contents of their soul and willing to take a bullet for you and you for them, to manufacture some bogus life is ridiculous, and I would not spit in their face by doing so. And I have to say that my experience serving as a queer man in the military was very different than some's. I mean, people are still assaulted and sometimes murdered for being gay in our military, and those who, I believe that institutionalized and governmentally mandated discrimination of any sort, such as a ban on gays in the military, is wrong. It's essentially wrong. It's un-American. But those who think that lifting the ban on gays in the military will end homophobia are as naive as those who thought that in 1948, when we desegregated our troops, that it ended racism. It did not. But I want to speak gratitude for those Marines who stood by me. All my buddies were straight. They stood by me in war. They knew who I was. They knew everything about me. They stood by me in my wedding, and they have gone in very public ways and put themselves at risk to speak out for queer serving. So I think that the most important component of this, if I can say one thing, that the most important reason that this panel was important that it happened is that, in my time in the military, I was raised by a good woman. My mom is an outstanding woman who taught me to love the flag. My parents were good parents, and I kept silent a lot when I feel like I should have spoken, and maybe that was somehow tied into trying to like toe the line or, fit in somehow. But the things that I heard, the way women talked about in the military, was disgusting to me a lot, and there are grateful exceptions. And since I came back, I've been doing, when I came back, I knew that I could not be a party to this occupation. I could not be true to my oath as a Marine and continue to serve. So I went on CNN and came out of the closet to 5 million people and made them throw me out. So, I just heard too many stories about people who were coming out and getting deployed anyway. They'll say, we're going to discharge you when you come back. And I knew, I just can't, beyond my oath, my belief in God and what I believe is right to do, I cannot be a party to this very dangerous occupation. But at the core of this war machine is an ideology that is based on the gender paradigm and homophobia. That still, even in the 21st century, just about the worst thing you can say to a straight teenage boy is that he's queer. And from my personal experience, I can tell you that young straight men, otherwise good men, will go to great lengths and do horrible things to prove that they're not gay. That somehow this idea of men are beings devoid of feelings and compassion, and that women are weak and just a ball of emotion, is at the center of all this. It's at the struggle for women to serve with dignity in the military. It permeates. I mean, it's in the peace movement. It's everywhere. It's got to stop. So I can't go back and change the past, but I can sit here and say that I honor the service of the women who serve beside me. And I can tell you now that my highest idea of someone who serves in our military, the code of conduct that they would bring into the battlefield, has everything to do with dispelling these old ways of thinking around gender and sexuality, and everything to do with standing up for what our country supposedly stands for. So it's time for me to shut up and start thinking about what I wish I had said. I just want to say again that if we lose hope, we've lost it all, and that it is important not to live in a state of denial, but we can do better as a nation, and people are coming out by the millions now and saying what I've been saying since I came back. And for those of you who are willing to come up and sit in these chairs this morning and listen in and watch in, you have the deepest gratitude of a troop that feels very supported.